it's nice not to hear about Paul McCartney. Jason didn't use the word McCartney-esque for bass playing once this episode. It's good. Hopefully,
he did nominate a Paul McCartney song, though.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Listography. Jason, Joe, and Krams are here. Songs of the Year series rolling on. We're at the midpoint of the 70s now, 1974. I don't know, we had a bit of a difference of opinion in 73. I thought it was a step down from the early 70s. You guys both loved it. Interested to see what you guys think of 74. I think it is a step back up from 73. Strong year.
I think it's a slight step down from 73. I know in our Albums of the Year video, I kind of groused about the quality of 74, but since that came out, I've found a whole bunch of new albums that a couple I hadn't heard before, but a couple more that I gained a new appreciation for. And now 74 is right up there, but maybe not quite like, it doesn't have like a Goodbye Yellow Brick Road or Quadrophenia for me. So it's tough. It's on a different kind of level, but I think it's still a very, very strong year.
I think it's a very strong year because it's a 70s year, but I think it's the weakest of the 70s for album cuts and for the top 100. So that's where I'm at, but I still really like everything I got. The major announcement for me is that what I thought was going to happen in 73 did happen now. I have no representation from any of my Album of the Year nominees. Bachman Turner Overdrive, Neil Young, Jackson Browne, Leonard Cohen, and Big Star were my 5 artists that got nominated for Album of the Year, and none of them are going to be talked about today. So pretty cool, or not cool, depending on how you look at it.
So just quick reminder, or for anybody new, the way this works, we pick 5 songs that had to have charted in the Billboard Hot 100 at any point during the year. If they made the list, they're eligible. Then we do a second list of 5 wildcard picks, which could have also charted or could be deep cuts, B-sides, soundtracks, compilations. They can be from anywhere at all. We'll also pick our least favorite top 40 song of the year. And you may notice as we go through our picks of 5, one of those lists will be 1 song short because we save our song of the year for the very end. So who wants to kick it off? And is it my turn to start?
Yeah, why don't you start?
All right, Hot 100. We'll just get it out of the way right off the top. I got Paul McCartney and Wings with Junior's Farm. This is my favorite of all of McCartney's non-album singles. I think the guitar work from Jimmy McCulloch on it is excellent. He's making his Wings debut on this song, replacing Henry McCulloch. And I think his solos on this track are really, really strong. I've also got what I believe was Joe's favorite Mott the Hoople song, The Golden Age of Rock and Roll. Barely cracked the Hot 100. Went to number 96 in the US. Great song, so over the top and theatrical and fun. It kind of revives and updates the spirit of 50s rock and roll for the 70s. I think it's a great track. My next pick for the Hot 100 is Can't Get It Out of My Head by ELO. This was their first top 10 single in the US. It went to number 9. It's a great ballad, but I think it really nails down the Jeff Lynne production style that he's known for. He was kind of getting close on their previous record On the Third Day, but he really gets the vocal sound, especially here, is that Jeff Lynne vocal sound. It's hard to put my finger on. I don't even exactly know what it is. It's EQ'd in a really unique way. It's usually kind of ducked down and buried in the mix a little compared to most pop and rock mixing, but it's really cool, really unique. Love the strings on it, of course, and the horns and all of that stuff is here in full force. Then I've got Might Just Take Your Life by Deep Purple. I was glad to see that this song charted. Otherwise, I don't know that I would have been able to get them in on the wildcard side. But I love this era of Deep Purple, the Coverdale Hughes era. You still got that classic John Lord Deep Purple organ sound. The guitar work is still, the classic Ritchie Blackmore, but you get a little bit of that R&B influence coming in from Glenn Hughes on the bass. Coverdale sounds awesome, and Glenn Hughes's higher register vocals are the perfect complement to it. It's awesome when he comes in on the bridge. And then my last pick for the Hot 100 is A Dream Goes On Forever by Todd Rundgren. He's continuing down his experimental path on his record Todd from this year. but he's still capable of turning out these pop gems. He's still thrown in one or two of them on each of these more experimental records. Like my pick from the previous year from A Wizard to True Star. This is just a great little pop song. I love it.
Right. So 74, lots of good songs charted. It's weird that Deep Purple song charted. And I think it only went to like 96 or something, but they didn't have a lot of chart success in the US. They're not going to make my Billboard list though. Number 5 for me, I got Elton John. A lot of stuff to choose from Caribou. He had singles still from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, bubbling into this year. I had a hard time deciding if I was going to accept those singles from Goodbye Yellow Brick Road. I decided not to. So I'm going to go with, Cramser called it The Bitch Is Back, from Elton John, which would also be my walk-up music if I played in the Major League Baseball. I just think it's great. I think only he could pull that off and sing it in first person as well, like singing The Bitch Is Back in first person. So great. And it's just a really fun track. Also on my list, I got some Steely Dan in there. Of course, I'm going to go with Ricky Don't Lose That Number. Just that incredibly melodic guitar solo really puts it over the top. This is their highest charting single, I think. Just a really great kind of like mellow little, not really love song, but a nice little pop song from them, from Pretzel Logic. All right, number 3, I'm going to go with an iconic riff from one David Bowie. I got Rebel Rebel, just that opening. So like, oh my gosh, one of the great, like simple, like guitar riffs ever. Just such a great song. Probably my favorite, like non-glam kind of later. It's not really later. It's 2 years after Ziggy Stardust, but he's kind of evolving like 8 times by now. So different kind of sound for him, but still excellent Bowie. Also on my list, number 2, I got a little Joni Mitchell action going with Help Me. Perfect little pop tune. This is her kind of like full band, a little jazzy in here. It's just a really pretty song. I love the horns that come in. Just a great little number from Joni, from Court and Spark, my favorite Joni Mitchell album. My number 1 for Billboard, you're going to see these guys more than just once. I got Waterloo from ABBA. I love the wall of sound production, just so joyous. They still have like the strong Swedish accents. I just think it's really weird to use like the Battle of Waterloo as like a basis of a love song. Like it's not something I don't think anyone who spoke like English or from America would ever do. So it's just like a really fun, really European pop song that happened to win Eurovision and become huge and launch the careers of ABBA. And gosh, I couldn't be more happy because they are going to be all over my list, especially on the Billboard side of things.
All right, let's see what I got for the Billboards. By the way, I misspoke earlier. I did not have Big Star nominated. I had Roxy Music with Country Life, but they're not getting on either. So I am still correct. Here's what I've got. I share some with both of you, but I'm saving one of them for my deep cuts. So I got a lot of charters this year. But I'm with Joe on the Bowie. I got Rebel Rebel, and just such a cool, like, kind of teenage anthem. Your Face is a Mess, Hot Tramp, I Love You So. I just love the lyrics. Not sure if you're a boy or girl. All of that really captures a really cool teen spirit. And yeah, the simple guitar, really cool. Number 9 Dream, so wistful and illuminating, but it also has like a really nice drive to it, but can also be really relaxing with its bliss. I think it's just a shaker that just keeps you moving, chugging forward. Also, maybe one of the best classic rock one-hit wonders ever. I'm gonna go with Rick Derringer with Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo. Just got that great, like mid-70s rock radio vibe. You just picture just doing wheelies in like a Trans Am, like in a parking lot, blasting that song. I always think of Dazed and Confused because it's just got that vibe to it, but an amazing guitar riff and just got a cool, like, just groovy, bluesy bounce to it, but it's kind of heavy. I'm going to throw in Cat Stevens with Oh Very Young, a little bit more of like a, he's still got that folkiness to it, but kind of a country flair to it. And I really like the sound of the piano on here, and just a very sweet kind of reaction song to American Pie, which I think is kind of cool. And then finally, I think I've said this 3 times where I don't think I will do any more instrumentals, but I got one, and this one actually charted. It is Jessica by Allman Brothers. It's just such a cool, pretty little guitar part, and I think it's just got really great Allman Brothers vibes on it. I love the electric guitar lick. It's one of my favorite licks ever. Yeah, those are my 5.
All right, wild card time. Only giving you 4 because my winner is from this side of town. Going to go with the kind of planned comeback, whether or not it really was the comeback or if that happened the following year. I've got Bob Dylan from Planet Waves, his album With the Band. I've got the track Hazel, which I think is great. Robbie Robertson's guitar playing on this song is especially excellent. Definitely my favorite track from that album. My next pick is Going Blind by Kiss. And I always feel like I got to be on the defensive when I talk about Kiss, and maybe rightfully so. But the Melvins covered this song. Dinosaur Jr. covered this song. That's all the validation I need to know that this song is awesome. It's so dark and weird. And Hotter Than Hell was a shitty sounding record. It sounds terrible, but the lo-fi-ness of that record works on this one particular track. Just makes it so cool. And the leads by Ace are just awesome. I think it's a really cool song. After that, I've got Asylum by Supertramp, record from Crime of the Century, which made my albums of the year list. I think it's just a really cool song, well written, incredible arrangement, great vocal performance from Rick Davies. The rhythm section on it's great. I think the drums on it sound huge. Just really like that song. My next pick, possibly my favorite discovery since starting the channel. I've got Dream Gerard by Traffic. I just love this song. The groove, the soulfulness of the vocals. It's just 11 minutes of pure brilliance. I absolutely love that track. And then my number 1 will be coming later.
Okay. I don't want to give it away, but there's this one album when I could have picked every single track from it. I've been holding back because I'm just obsessed with it. We'll get to it. Number 5, I got $1,000 Wedding from Graham Parsons, one of his final tracks from his posthumous album, Grievous Angel. It's a really cool, like, descriptive storytelling. Doesn't really have a chorus, but kind of a big build-up. I don't even know what to call it, big musical refrain. When Emmylou Harris comes in singing, it's just wonderful, and it's really great steel guitar. From Al Perkins, just a really great track from Graham, really that cosmic American music that I've grown to love so much. Number 4, I got my favorite Queen song, March of the Black Queen. It's a big, expansive theatrical predecessor to Bohemian Rhapsody, basically. Just like careens between these like little musical vignettes that really just show off Mercury and May's decadent, over-the-top musical power. Very vibrant fantasy. Really like it. Number 3, I got a little Deep Purple on my list, but I'm going with Burn. I don't really, it's weird. I'm not like that into Deep Purple, and I don't really know what like the fans think of the different marks, the different variations. But I don't know. I mean, this one can give any of them a run for the money. In my book, David Coverdale comes in. As good as he is, the star of the show is definitely John Lord and Ritchie Blackmore trading those ridiculous solos. So just extravagant. And John Lord's final organ solo might be like the greatest moment in the history of organs. Just amazing. I love it. So over the top. Great. Number 2, I can't believe this wasn't a number 1 hit for Stephen Wonder. I got Creepin' from Fulfilling Mrs. First finale. This one's like dreamy, kind of hazy. He's using the big Tonto synthesizer, which was basically like an entire room, which is what they had to do back in those days to get those cool sounds. But really unique sounding. He's on the Moog bass, he's on the piano. And then Minnie Riperton has these really great, soulful, sexy backup vocals on this one. So really amazing song. But my number one, we'll have to wait because we're not doing that yet. And it's going to be a big one. I hope people are ready for this.
I'm ready for it. And I predicted that it would be The Bitch Is Back. And now that it's not, I know exactly what it is. And I've also got it nominated. It is Lamb Lies Down on Broadway by Genesis. Might bet the farm that I don't have or own. But yeah, what a great song. Leads off the album. Just that the piano at the beginning, and then I just love the groove and the bass part. And Gabriel sounds so cool on it. One of my favorite Genesis songs, no doubt. Got to remaster that MFer. We didn't even do top 10 songs. We gotta do it. Love that track. And then I share with Jason from ELO, Can't Get It Out of My Head. By the way, before the end of this year, 2021, not 1974, we will cover ELO for all you guys out there. But I love the piano on here, love the strings, love the drums, love the melody. It's almost like Lennon-esque. Simple sweeping hook. Love the bridge section with like those sharp strings and all the cool different 70s synth sounds that come about. I'm also going to go with Killer Queen by Queen. I think it was my second favorite Queen song. Not positive, but I mean, yeah, there's the cool kind of hazy jazzy regalness about it, and the lyrics and the bouncy piano and killer guitar tone always by Brian May, and that might be one of the best examples of it. And then I'm going to go super deep here. I'm going to go Mother Whale Eyeless by Brian Eno. I'm going to get my Brian Eno love done right now before we talk about some Coldplay albums in a week or two. And I shit all over him for doing them dirty and everyone dirty. But this song is great. It's got cool desperation, really mysterious vibe. It's like great. It's like a really great track to just kind of see where indie rock would go. You know, like later on, it's a great influence on that, on like television and all that stuff that'll happen. All the art rock stuff towards the end of the 70s got cool, like almost like Lou Reed and Bowie-ness vibes to it. Great piano, little avant-garde at times, but also kind of rockin'. Love the female backing vocals on it, and just the bouncy, reactive, galloping bass, like note to note the whole time, just keeping it going is really cool. It's very good album, and that's my favorite track on it. So gonna hold off my winner.
All right, time for the worst of the year. And for this one, I'm going with Mockingbird by Carly Simon and James Taylor. I love 70s singer-songwriters, as I think it's been pretty apparent going through the early part of the 70s here. I've never really gotten the fascination with Carly Simon. And I think she sinks to an all-time low on this track. It is super, super awful. A really ill-advised cover. Like I said, is a duet with James Taylor. There's also Dr. John on piano, Robbie Robertson's on guitar, Michael Brecker on sax. But all the star power in the world can't save this turd of a song. It is so terrible, so lightweight, corny AF, just not good at all. I would rather listen to Harry and Lloyd from Dumb and Dumber do their version of it while they're driving in the dog truck. I think that's better than this. It's so bad.
That is a great scene from Dumb and Dumber. My least favorite song, this will probably cause a commotion amongst the commenters again, but I really hate Rock On by David Essex. I just think, or Jason, it doesn't go anywhere. Nothing happens in this entire song. You keep waiting for like something to kick in. It just never happens. It drives me absolutely nuts when I'm listening to it. Like I can't listen to it because I just like I'm waiting. I'm like, come on. Is it? And it just never comes. I don't get it. I can't believe this went to number one. Just don't understand. I hate it.
Don't worry. Any stir cause in the comments towards you, I'm going to wipe out right now. I'm going to go with Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin. Hate this song. I'm fine with the sentiments about fatherhood and all of that, and being worried that you won't be there for your boy or girl or whatever it is. But the way that the lyrics are put together and just the lame bounce to the rhythm of the dun, 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 dun. I've never liked it. I hate it. I'm gonna be like you, Dad. I'm gonna be like you. I think it's really lame. It was a good try. Joe, you have kids. What do you think?
I don't mind it. I don't like it. It was not a nominee or even close to my top fives, but I don't hate it. It just kind of exists for me.
I'm with you,
Well,
Graham. That song sucks. All right, so winners. This was an easy pick for me, one of the easiest to decide in a while. This is a all-time top 10 song for me. I've got from my album of the year, Fountain of Sorrow by Jackson Browne. I just think it's some of the best writing I've ever heard. Perfect songwriting. Can't really say much more than that. It's one of those songs where you can just read the lyrics without even hearing it, and it's just like jaw-dropping. I can't even fathom how someone could write something like this. It's so kind of deep and insightful and layered and just fantastic. And all the playing on it, of course, is great, the way it often is on Jackson Browne records. It's a really great song. Love it. Probably won't get the win this week. I wouldn't expect, but just nothing else was going to come close to this for me in 74. It was a lock from the beginning.
Well, this might be Jay or Ryan's probably going to take it no matter what, because I'm going far deeper than Jason on this. This is probably the deepest cut I will ever have as a winner. I am going with Gene Clark's No Other from my new top 10 favorite album of all time, No Other. I've basically been listening to this album 2 to 3 times a day since I heard it like 6 months ago. And I just, honestly, I cannot believe this isn't like held up as one of the great albums of all time. It kind of has been heading in that direction lately. It was kind of one of those lost records that just totally bombed, totally destroyed Gene Clark when it bombed. And kind of, he didn't disappear, but he sort of went back into, the murk and the mist. I don't know. He had some more albums, but this was like his one attempt to get back. Like, I want to do it. I want to be famous again. And it rules. The song No Other, I really had a hard time picking between the 8 songs on this album. But I picked No Other because it was like the first one that really caught me. It sort of bounces like that Cosmic American that he does a lot on this album. Like, there's a lot of pedal steel and sort of, Gene Clark, Birds kind of stuff. But this one has a little more R&B. Apparently Sly Stone was like in the studio when he was doing it. So he made it a little harder, a little tougher. There's a million great musicians on this. You got Leland Sklar on bass, Butch Trucks on drums. Just the whole album was filled with these great session musicians, and this was no exception. And the song itself has this part kind of like outshined by Soundgarden, where like the vocals, bass, guitar, like everything's in sync and kind of like drops down, comes back up. There's all this like backup singing going on. It's completely like layered, and there's all this stuff, like maximalist production. And I don't know, it's really hard to explain. And I doubt most people have ever heard this one. So I don't know, just go listen to it. Go listen to Gene Clark's No Other. Hopefully it'll blow your mind as much as it blew mine. And it has the greatest use of cowbell ever. I swear to God, a minute long, this riding the cowbell from Butch Trucks, I think. And it completely blew my mind the first time I heard it. So I'd never heard it used like that. It just rules in every way. I love Gene Clark and I love this song. It's not going to win. I don't care.
I don't know. I'm going really deep and really surprising too. So we got 3, just could be anything. A couple of quick notes. The best cowbell song of all time is Electioneering by Radiohead. And did you say Sly Stallone was in the studio?
Sly Stone, sorry.
Oh, it's gonna be like, yeah,
Sly
Gene, make it
Stone.
to Gene. What do you think, Gene? All right. So here's what I got. You boys will be pleased to know I'm going I'm going a lot country for my song of the year for 74. She had a lot of huge hits, but I'm going with Willin' by Linda Ronstadt off of her great album from this year. I love how this is sort of just like fanfare, Linda Ronstadt and her backing band giving you everything in just 3 minutes. It's so perfectly detailed and condensed into just one track. Everything sounds so good. The guitar, the harmonica, her voice, obviously. She's one of my favorite singers of all time. It is just this beautiful, breezy country song with a punching chorus. Love when the drums come in and it gets a little bit upbeat. And then it kind of like cuts out and slows down, and she like slows down the whole song with her vocals. It's such an interesting dynamic because it's so short, but it goes through like these just three really intense kind of like stanzas, just with so much thought and care. There's a great guitar solo, nice little like harmonic pinches on it. And the lyrics are just like kind of unusually like, I mean, they're beautiful and vivid. Like they give you that perfect, what a great country folk song can do is just give you like all of the imagery at once. Like it's on a postcard. And then like, what was the song on the telephone line that you picked 10 years ago? Why can't I think of it? The telephone worker, the cable, the woman.
Oh, Wichita Lineman.
Yes, it's very much like Wichita Lineman, where you just get such a vivid, like, postcard kind of picture of being out in the country. This one's about a truck driver. There's like these, and just about the hardships they're going through, but you're still willing to like go through it. And just like these great lines, like I've been kicked by the wind, robbed by the sleet, had my head in the stove, but I'm still on my feet and I'm still willing. It's just a great song. We got to get her discography done at some point, but I don't know who's going to take it this year. We got 3 deep cuts.
This is an interesting year. I'm glad we all picked. I'm glad nobody picked like Elton John or something and just like walked away with it. Though Elton John did win in 73. Happy to say, Cramser and I took it home, finally defeating the evil Paul McCartney. So it's another notch. It was a close race, though. No disrespect to Paul, but Elton took it home. So that's one more win for me and Cramser. Closing in on Jason.
It's nice not to hear about Paul McCartney. Jason didn't use the word McCartney-esque for bass playing once this episode. It's good. Hopefully,
he did nominate a Paul McCartney song, though.
Oh, God. What's your problem, Jason?
Yeah, there's more where that came from. All right. So there you have it. That's 74. Let us know what your favorite songs of 1974 are down in the comments, and let us know what you think of our selections. Of course, hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed yet. Check the description for links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, as well as a link to our website where you can go and vote for which of our Song of the Year selections is your favorite. And also the last little piece of housekeeping before we go, just a quick reminder, many of you may have seen it, but we have a poll open on our community tab where we are essentially battling for control of the entire month of January. Each of the 3 of us have selected 4 artists, and they are listed there anonymously. You don't know whose is whose, but you can pick your favorite lineup, and whoever wins will do those 4 acts throughout the entire month of January. I think it's close enough that if we get a bunch of more people voting, that any of the 3 of us could still take it home. So go vote for that. And that's it, I guess. Come back Tuesday. We'll be talking about Coldplay this week. So we'll see you then.